Good afternoon. We are here today to talk to you about personal branding. My name's Kim Evans. I'm the Territory Director for Operations in the Midwest.
And I am Theresa Bowles. I am a Senior Manager on the Operations Excellence team. And as Kim mentioned, we're going to talk about personal branding. So show of hands, who's heard of personal branding?
Oh, good.
Holy moly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. So for those who have not heard of personal branding, it is essentially the culmination of all your experience, your skills, but also the values that differentiate you from others. Now, is personal branding just for the professional life? No, it's for your personal life as well. And it's even better if your core values align, because then that builds trust and credibility in your personal brand. So we're going to talk a little bit about why personal branding is important. To start off, we are in a very competitive corporate business landscape right now. And although opportunities are plentiful, when you have a personal brand, that can be a game changer and really sets you above your competition. So I want to share a little bit of a story of why personal branding is important. Many years ago, I used to work for the waste management, so the waste industry. My kids were much younger, and they would see a garbage truck go by and they would say, "Mommy, there's your garbage truck." And I would say, "Yes, yeah, that's my garbage truck." Well, my kids were in competitive sports, and as any of us know, when your children are in competitive sports, sometimes you'll befriend somebody on the team, and then their parent might come over and introduce themselves and say, "Oh, I'm Sally's mom. What do your parents do?" Well, my daughter was so proud, and she goes, "My dad's in the Navy." And that's awesome, that's awesome. What does your mom do? She's a garbage lady. So I didn't know how long this was going on, but it wasn't until I showed up for a game that this woman approached me. And she said, "I just have to ask, this is such a unique field for a woman to get into. What brought you to the field of being a garbage lady?" And I said, "Well, I'm not a garbage lady. I'm actually an operations project manager." So that taught me two things. Number one, personal branding is very, very important, but also teach your children what you do and go into a little bit of detail that might be helpful. So what we're going to talk about today is actually defining who you are, and then how do you develop your personal brand, that brand statement, and the importance of having a personal board of directors, and then also communicate, having that social media footprint, but doing it responsibly. So as we talk about personal branding blueprint, we heard Tyler talk about this a little bit. It's how you see yourself, how others see you, and then somewhere in the middle is your personal brand. So when we think about the traits, the core values, the characteristics that make us unique, as these words come up, and don't limit yourself just to the ones that you see here, but what are your core values? What resonates with you? Are you a leader? Are you an influencer? Both are equally important. Are you direct? Or are you quiet? So when you think about your core values, what are your top 3 to 4 core values? And as we build out using the branding framework, you're going to refer back to those in just a moment.
Okay, so what we want to do is I want you guys to think about your purpose, your skills and strengths, and your credibility that you have within, like Theresa said, this is not only for personal life or for business life, but personal life too. So in your folders, the top sheet there is actually a worksheet. And it's important, we really want you guys to put some thought to this. We're going to take about 5 minutes. Just think about what your strengths, your purpose, your credibility is. And Theresa's going to put that other slide back up with the words on it. And there's a lot of other adjectives that maybe describe who you are or what your strengths are. But we're going to build upon this. And hopefully when we get done here, you'll be able to take some of the worksheets with you and continue to develop your plan. So We'll take 5 minutes here. Just think about it. If you got any questions, just let us know. All right, we'll go ahead and take a break there. And again, these are worksheets you guys can take with you. So we'll continue, but we wanted to start the thought process of how to build your personal brand. So, oops. So if you look at, you have a blank sheet like this in your folder that you could take with you and fill out later. But really, it's important to really look at all aspects of your brand. What's my purpose? What is my core values? My strengths? Am I self-motivated, strong, independent, quick thinking, open-minded? What kind of skills do I have? So at writing, speaking, business strategy, branding, marketing, and credibility. What have you accomplished? Understand all of your credibility that you can bring to a job that you have now, as well as tangible brands and elements, you know, a personal coach, public speaking, redefining success. Those are the things that you need to think about and try to understand what your contributions are so you can help build that brand. So we had a question right now. What we really wanted to ask the team is, reading through this, what somebody has put down here, what kind of position do you think a person like this would hold at CHEP? Leadership position? Yep. And we have prizes. First to speak up. There you go. Those are actually battery chargers you put on the back of your phone.
Oh,
so,
awesome.
Absolutely, a leadership position, probably more like a senior leadership position, because if you look at the fact that they're doing their own YouTube videos, they've got their, they're doing public speaking, those type of things. But what you want to do is, when you build your triangle, when you build your framework, you want that to tell a story. So that way you can explain, so somebody can look at your story and understand how you can contribute to that organization or for that position.
So your brand statement, essentially this is your elevator pitch. It's 4 to 6 sentences that talk about who you are as a person, but also what's important to you and how you're going to bring value to the business. So does anyone in here, or is anyone in here brave enough to share their elevator pitch? Does somebody have like a really good elevator pitch that they would like to share? I know I'm putting everyone on the spot. That's okay. You don't, that's, as long as you understand this is your opportunity to promote yourself. So when you meet someone, especially in an opportunity like this where you have your executive leadership, your senior leadership, your peers and other people that are in other departments that you may not have met before, let that be an opportunity for you to give them your brand statement, which is, again, tells a little bit, that little story about who you are, what you stand for, and then how you bring value.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? One thing we forgot to do is we forgot to introduce our leaders back there that are helping us out in the rooms, and these guys are going to be following you around all week. So, Choka, did you want to introduce yourself? Hi.
I'm Choka, Senior Director for Logistics and Transportation.
All right. Angie?
Angie Sengupta. I started out as an LC and I did some planning roles, so now I'm manager of supply chain optimization.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
So question, which out of those two, which one did you feel more comfortable with and feel like you know better now? And how they introduce themselves? Angie?
I don't remember her name. But
Angie?
just like the background, sorry, I hate to say it. But yeah, the background and just a little bit more personable.
Yeah, and I think that's the key thing we want to think about here. We interact with a lot. The stage, yeah. Yeah, there you go, thanks. We interact with a lot of people. And I even think about the first time, as Theresa and I were talking as we put this together, how much we learned from going through this. So I even think about the first time when I was in a roundtable discussion with Xavier. Hi, my name's Kim Evans. I'm the director of the Midwest. You know, what an opportunity that would have been to expel a little bit. Hey, I've been with the company for 20 years, and kind of go on a little bit more about myself. Not long, just something, a little couple sentences that describes you better. And you know, when you're in a conference like this, or if you see somebody in a hallway that you normally don't interact with, you know, being able to give them a little more information about you and what's going on, and And even, depending on the person, what your goals are, what you're working on, those type of things. So that's what we want to do today, is be able to find ways to help you guys develop that brand, so that way you can communicate that.
And there are a couple of bio templates up here, but inside of your workbook, there are several. And some are in the first person, some are in the third person, just to kind of help you as you're building out your brand statement and your personal brand, that you can go in there and find templates that work for you.
Yeah. So our whole hope is that you guys will take that information, take a time to spend half hour, go through those things and try to develop who you are and formalize it. So that way when you get the opportunity to talk to someone or introduce yourself to someone, it's very natural for you to explain to them who you are and what you do and what you bring to the company. Theresa? I don't think you and I did a very good job explaining what we do, did I?
No.
We didn't, no. So my name is Kim Evans, and I enjoy managing people and processes. So in the Midwest, I am successful through my people. I mean, I can't do anything without my people. My current position as a supply chain director is I focus on my people, processes, and customers. So ultimately, what does that do for me? Professionally, I'm motivated to developing the people, and the people take care of the business. So because of that, I'm able to develop people, grow people, and also help strategize for the company and for my territory to make sure that we are giving customer satisfaction. But the one thing, I love to do, and the company allows me the time to do it, is spend time with my husband in the evening. We have a glass of wine on the patio, and then I've got 4 grandchildren. Love it when they come over. They run me to death. But honestly, my personal goals and my business goals are all satisfied here with CHEP. And because of that, it makes me a more rounded person and a better person.
No, it's clicker sickness today. So again, I'm Theresa Bowles. I honestly think the position that I'm in is perfect for me because continuous improvement is in my DNA. I can't go to Busch Gardens without wanting to talk to them about their parking process because it's insane. I drive my husband nuts because everywhere we go, I find a kink in the chain or a gap in the process, and I'm like, this could be better. And it does drive him nuts. But I've been with CHEP for almost 13 years. I started out in quality. I've had a chance to work with TPM operations and lead a team there. And now I've been part of the operations excellence team for the last few years. I've been known to have a very positive attitude, and I'm outgoing. For those that know me can probably attest to that. But in the evening, I know that we talked about, going back, sorry. I love coaching people, bringing out the best in them. I'm very passionate about. I think we have a common theme about sitting on the lanai, having a glass of wine with our significant other. In Florida, we're able to do it quite a bit more than up north. Mm-hmm. But working here, I do think CHEP brings out the best in me as a person and as a leader. So these are our bios. Do you feel like you know us a little bit better now? Awesome. So, personal board of directors. For those of you who may have heard, Tyler is an advocate of this. And so when we were building this, and Theresa and I, this deck, and we're doing some research, and this came up. And I think it's great to talk about this. Has anybody heard this or have a personal board of directors? All right, awesome. Cool. So, who do you have on your personal board of directors?
On mine?
Yeah, Chokin?
My wife, our close friends from university, then I have a couple of folks from my college as well. From workplace at CHEP.
Yep.
Yeah. So, short story.
Yeah.
So,
please.
when I graduated from my MBA program for memory in Atlanta, so there was a last lecture, and during the last lecture, that was the advice that was given by the international strategy professor. He was very reputable, very respectable. So he came to us and he said, like, the knowledge drain starts from today because this is the last day of your school. And he advised that we have at least few board of directors selected within the group that we were in. So since then, I've made it a point that I picked like 3 or 4 folks from my class. They were my classmates, and I've been in touch with them all through my life. And so all major decisions, like including like buying a car, I would use them as a sounding board to just kind of like bounce off ideas and so on and so forth. So it's extremely helpful using your board of directors as sounding boards to make some choices or some very critical decisions.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you
Thank you.
bringing that in. Well, we have a short video with somebody else that has a board of directors too, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about how to approach that.
Crossing my fingers.
Who is on your personal board of directors? Yes, your personal board of directors.
There you go.
Any leader worth their salt needs to have at least 3 people on their personal board of directors. And what's the purpose of this personal board of directors? It's the kind of people who have, number 1, a front row view of your life. Number 2, meddling rights to tell you this is not working. Number 3, that you can be totally authentic with them. Number 4, that you can be totally vulnerable with them, telling them the good, the bad, and the ugly. These are people who will hold you to a higher ideal. They will not judge you, but they have the right to help you rise up from whatever mess or situation you are in. They have the ability to tell you the trend that you are now beginning to operate in is not going to work for you. They're the kind of people who will look at opportunities that are way beyond what you thought and actually encourage you to rise up and aim for those opportunities. Who is on your personal board of directors? The only way you can attain the 5-finger goals that we talked about earlier is to ensure that you have accountability in a regular, consistent, and sincere manner. Because without accountability, leadership cannot be sustained. Without accountability, you cannot thrive. So make sure you ask yourself, who is on your personal board of directors? I dare say you should include a coach and or a mentor. And in so doing, ensure that your leadership growth, your character also continues to grow despite and in spite of and in alignment with whatever experiences that you're going to go through. Make sure you constitute your personal board of directors. You will see the kind of growth you will attain.
Okay. So I think it's really a good idea to talk about the points there. I mean, it needs to be not just best friends. It's got to be people who have a front row seat of your life and who are going to talk to you bluntly, directly, honestly on what you know, where you are, what questions you have. I've heard of people and done it myself. I've got people that, you know, have done it with job decisions. Do I apply for this position? Do you think this position's for me? Go to your board of directors because they know you. And they could say, I don't know. You may still feel strongly you want to do that position or that's where you want to go, but they may be able to explain to you why they don't think that's a good fit for you. Or even meddling rights. So they have the right to meddle in and get pretty personal and understand what's going on with you. So don't get upset when they do that. That is their position. That's what they're there for. Total authenticity. So again, they need to be authentic to you and you need to be authentic to them. You don't want somebody that's going to paint roses when it's not roses. You know, totally vulnerability, hold you to a higher ideal. And I think the one thing is need accountability. Without accountability, leadership cannot be sustained. So, you know, it's just important to have that person to talk to. And a lot of times the confidentiality piece is really important. So you're having a conflict. Maybe your boss is wanting you to do something that you don't agree with, but you're not for sure how to approach them. Maybe it is a job decision that you're trying to make. Maybe it's how do I go further in my career? I mean, what do you see as your opportunities to develop? I mean, that's what that board of directors is for. So I just would encourage all of you to think about it. And like you said, you need a mentor. Some people use their mom or their dad because they have a very good and respect the relationship that they have with them and their feedback. You may have somebody you went to school with. You may have somebody that you're working with today. But it's just important, and I think that most people that have their board of directors would say that it's come in very handy for them in their career to bounce things off of, to do the right things. And sometimes I've heard people say they've gone against their board of directors. So their board of directors says, I don't think that job's for you, and they're like, it's for me. But guess what? It didn't work out. So just think about that, and again, highly encourage everybody to take advantage of building your support team so you have somebody to go to when you need some advice, you got questions, and you want it to be confidential, and maybe not necessarily want to talk to somebody within your own work environment or your leader about it.
Yep. And as a reminder, we do have the mentor-mentee program as well. And if you have not participated in that program, you could be a mentor for someone, or you could find a mentee to be part of your board of directors there as well.
Okay.
Communicate. So we talked about the social media footprint. Again, it's a great way not only to get your personal brand out there, but also celebrate each other. Celebrate the business. It's a great place to work. I see posts sometimes on Facebook about being a top employer, and that's something that should be celebrated. And also imagine if you have your own network of people, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, and we're going to talk a little bit about those, but you're reaching so many really good people. I hope you have good people that are friends on Facebook. But it's also an opportunity for somebody might be looking for a new role. And it's a way to get it out there to promote the business and yourself.
Yeah.
You can add CHEP as your employer on LinkedIn. Again, these are do's and don'ts, but whatever we do on social media, just remember to do it very responsibly. Don'ts, do we want to talk about the?
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, just from a confidentiality standpoint, I mean, obviously, if you're told something in confidence, you want to go out and put it publicly. And once you put it out there, you might want to double read it. Just double check it before you send it out there, because once it's out there, right? It never goes away. Even though you may go back and delete something like, oh, I wish I had put that out there. Somebody's seen it. So just be careful in what you do. But it is such a great way to promote yourself, your brand, and your company. I was telling Theresa when we first set this out, back in the day when I first started, it was like you were told you would never write anything about your company. Everything had to go through some sort of a marketing person. It had to be, you had to have it checked off before you made any kind of public announcement or before you posted anything. But I love this direction that we've gone now. So it gives us an opportunity to share what CHEP is and what we are and who we are. And it makes it a lot easier to get the networking going.
Absolutely. So funny story about social media. When Kim and I first started working on this, how many in the room, show of hands, have Googled yourself?
Sorry?
Googled.
Lots of people. Okay, so we thought it would be fun to Google ourselves to see, okay, what's out there on us? Well, interestingly enough, I Googled myself and a lot of just irrelevant stuff came up, and I kept going down. About halfway down, my LinkedIn profile came up. And I was so super excited because that actually, if somebody was trying to find me, they could find me on LinkedIn. Well then, Kim.
So I Googled myself and found out very quickly that I need to be using social media a little bit more, because everything that came up were Kim Evanses that were dead. It was obituaries. I'm like, okay, I have not done very well promoting myself on social media. So it's definitely an opportunity for me to continue to grow.
But as you create your personal brand, get it out there on social media. You can, LinkedIn is if I'm sure everyone in the room is familiar with LinkedIn, but make sure that you have your About Me filled out, that you have a picture, and you use that kind of as a platform to not only tell people who you are, but you can also promote yourself. You can promote the business. You can promote each other.
Building your network, connecting with professionals, like Theresa was saying, and learn more about CHEP by engaging in a variety of media posts too. We do a lot of posting out there. We're going to talk a little bit more about the different types that we do, but you can learn a lot about CHEP and a lot about the different countries and what the different countries are doing. And learn from thought leaders in the industry. So if you think about it, if you're in supply chain, if you're in logistics, if you're in planning, if you're in HR, you can hook up with leaders within that industry and see what they're posting, see what they're doing, and there's so much to learn from other people. It really gives you an opportunity to do that.
One more thing about network. When you not only network on social media, but network just within the organization, has anyone been tapped on the shoulder before and said, I have this really exciting role coming up, and I think you would be a perfect fit for it. I'm getting ready to post it, but I think that that is just a really good opportunity for you. If you have, yeah, I see a lot of hands going up. That's fantastic. And what that tells me is you all have a pretty solid personal brand out there that people know who you are, what you stand for, and what value you bring to the business. So again, very important, get your personal brand out there, but also promote it within the organization and social media. Did I go backwards again? There we go.
There we go. Yeah, this is just about taking pictures. I mean, pictures are worth 1,000 words. So, and it's encouraged to take pictures. But the one thing you want to do is try, when possible, do them vertically, because they're easier to post on the sites, and they usually come out clearer pictures. Take pictures to provide information about the location, as well as take pictures with people in them. Some of the things you don't want to do: don't post blurry pictures, don't post pictures of signs and posters, pictures with dark lighting. You know, take pictures of people who don't want to be photographed, because obviously if you're going to post it, you want to be able to honor their privacy, and if they don't want to post it, don't take a picture of them, or don't post it at least.
Yeah. So when we talk about telling a story, these are just some examples. I don't know what the story is that's being told. You see CHEP, you see lots of other businesses, but what are they there for? What are they promoting? What are they celebrating? It's very hard to get a full picture on what's trying to be told through this picture.
But then if you look at this, it's clear that on your left here, you got a group of people that are attending a conference. They got their lanterns on, like what we have here. They're at New Hope Conference, it appears to be, and the National Products is part of participating there. So, I mean, when they post this for their social media, people will understand what they're there and what they're doing. Same thing with the Share What's Real. It's a Sunkist sign. So this may be a person from a sales group that's maybe at Sunkist, and she's getting her picture taken and she's posting it out there for her organization. And the same thing on the right. So again, when you post things, it doesn't have to be all business and professional, but business and serious. You know, have some fun with it. You know, post what you think is, again, what you want people to perceive you as and what you're doing, but it represents the company well.
So this is just a slide. We're not going to read it to you. These are just some best practices that are in each of these different platforms. So CHEP is on all of these different platforms, and we're actually, the next slide will tell you, I don't even, is it a handle or call sign or whatever
Hashtags.
Hashtags. I don't know. Hashtag, I'm sorry. But in here, this is a list of just kind of some of the best practices to do in order to just build that network on all of these platforms.
Yeah. And we will give you at some point, we will have I believe, a link on the share drive or on Teams that will have the presentations in them. So that's the reason why we're not going to spend a lot of time going through this, but it will be there for your references at a future date and time.
Absolutely.
So here's the CHEP. CHEP has presence on all these sites. So it's really best to go in and like them. So that way you start seeing when things are being posted, but as well post things to those too. Because as soon as you like or you post, as many of you know, then that goes out to your network. So if everybody within CHEP would do that, then all the information about CHEP would be posted out, you know, to many people, many people. And that's what we want to do. Linda McKay, is our Senior Manager Branding and Integrated Marketing. I'm sorry, I'm reading sideways here. But anyway, if you have any questions about if you think this should be posted, shouldn't be posted, or how does the CHEP North America work on X, reach out to her. Her and I believe she has a team of people that work with her, and you know what happens too is for that particular team, just as an FYI, is they monitor what's going on the web out there too. So if there's something that comes up negative within CHAP, they'll come in, they'll read it, and they'll take it down. But if you ever have any question about what you should or how can you get more involved in these media sites, just let them know. Let her know, and she can help you out. Okay. Workday. How many people have an updated Workday profile?
That's encouraging.
It is. I can't tell you, we as CHAP do TMRs, talent management reviews, twice a year. The leadership team gets together and we talk about the people within our organization and their strengths, their opportunities, you know, just all of that. And I will tell you, Agnes is typically in a lot of those sessions. And the first thing she does, I'll say, I have a plant manager works for me, his name is Mike Mund, and maybe she doesn't know him. First thing she does is pull up the Workday. And the first thing she says, oh, they don't have a picture. She goes, I want to know who this person is, but I don't know this person. They don't have a picture on there. And then I was in a session one time and somebody was like, oh, I think this person might be good for me. So then he went in and started clicking around and looking at the work history and have their work history on there. So it's a great opportunity to promote yourself without promoting yourself. So I would encourage everybody to go into Workday, make sure you got a professional picture online so when people pull it up, they could say, oh yes, I know that person. And then as well as your skills, your profiles, in updating any job histories, those type of things. So that way we can go in there as leaders and look and know a little bit more about you and maybe reach out to you and say, hey, I've got this position that's available and I think you would be perfect for it, just like what Theresa had mentioned earlier.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim. So promote your brand. This is our internal Facebook, essentially. It used to be called Yammer. Now it is Viva Engage. And I know that probably everyone that logs into Walter, they start getting this feed of all these cool stuff that's going on. It could be with our customers, it could be out in the community. But this is a very good way as well, not only to promote each other, but promote yourself and show all the great things that you're doing as well within the organization.
Can I just add something? It kind of goes with the Workday slide.
Yep.
If everyone didn't know this already, when you submit your, now they're called optimizing performance, but they used to call them PDPs. Obviously you're writing them to your current management team who know a lot about you, but it's really good if you write them with a little extra context that those people probably already know, because the next leader you have in the business can go back and read those and like learn really cool things that you did. And if they've not been in that department before, they may not know what some of those like insider terms mean. But it's like stored in your profile to brag on you to everyone else that you work for. So
That is
that's
awesome.
also good
Yep, that is.
to know is available.
That's a great call out. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh,
So, if you guys have not really gotten into Viva Engage as much, you can actually add it to Teams, and then instead of getting a whole bunch of emails, it will just show in your Teams.
Okay.
that's good
Did
to know.
everybody hear her? Okay. She's saying that you can add Viva Engage to your Teams profile, and that way all the postings go directly into Teams and that you can view them from there.
That's awesome. Thank you.
So I think the other thing too is that, and Theresa already said this, but it really is a great way to get to know your organization, what's going on in your organization. And I think the coolest thing about Viva Engage is reading what's going on in the other countries, because there's a lot of stuff going on there. It may or may not apply to us, but I think it's great that to see what's going on. I know there's been a couple times I've reached out to the UK and asked them about some stuff, just because it applied to me. And it's like, and maybe it's something we could do in the US and maybe it's not, but it's always good just to have that conversation. And again, that's a channel I'm opening up, right? That's a channel of somebody, a resource that I'm opening up that I could potentially use in the future, and or they can come back and talk to me in the future.
And those that have global teams, it's a great way to stay connected with your peers that are in other countries as well.
Okay.
Awesome.
All righty.
Questions?
Anybody got any questions for us that we can answer?
What was the X platform?
Oh,
yes.
Jeez. Did she already win a prize? No. Okay.
So my lack of
Okay. No.
Is a win?
You're in a good club though. Because
So we're
didn't
feeling
know.
much better, okay?
Huh?
I know. Can I tether?
Yes.
Please.
Okay.
She wins a prize.
Twitter.
I mean, I know what it is, but okay, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So what?
Change it to X.
Yeah, when Mr. Musk bought Twitter, he changed it to X. So Theresa and I didn't know that either. So I sent this presentation to Linda, who sent an email back to me. You might want to change the Twitter sign and put an X in there. And
No
I'm
idea.
like, what?
idea.
And then I felt really bad because I asked my husband, did you know this? Oh yeah, that. And I'm like, okay, so I am really disconnected right now.
Is that why you named it that?
I don't know if that's why.
Well, that's a great question.
Now I don't feel so bad.
I know, it makes me feel much better too.
Any other questions? Feedback? Yes.
So I have a question. I am field-based. So what do you think somebody in my position should do to engage more with people in the company and just get your personal brand out?
Oh, that's a great question. I would start with reaching out with the mentor-mentee program. They'll, depending on what you want to know, they will match you with a mentor, and you can work directly with them. There's other.
I would say we have the employee relations groups, ERGs, yeah.
ERG.
DEI and the ERGs.
Yeah, it's a diversity inclusion team that we have, and there are employee relation groups in there that you can pick, and you will, once you become part of that group, you interact with everybody from all over the organization. So I know that recently they had sent something out where they were needing leaders, or they need somebody to be a coordinator or something, to be in a more of a higher level, probably leadership group amongst that. But that doesn't mean you have to do that. You could still participate just as a participant and get to know and learn people from the groups. They usually have regular meetings, they have events, different things. Yes?
I actually had the same problem. I started during pandemic. I came from a different country. I didn't know anyone, so I directly asked my manager in one of our one-on-one sessions. I said, can you please direct me to, I work in Peloton, can you please direct me to people in Palo teams, like scheduling some calls. We don't have to make it official as a mentor program or anything, but I would like to talk to them and gain some perspective. Nothing was official, but I directly asked it from my manager, and he did it. Like, you can just talk to your manager too.
Yep,
That's a great idea as well.
So I also have another one that can be helpful, the BEAT team, which is a lot of logistics folks, but they do the lunch and learns. They're always looking for people there.
Did you guys hear the BEAT
What does
team?
BEAT stand for? I saw an email. I also didn't know what that was.
I don't know what the acronym
Okay,
is.
no pressure.
Angie, we're gonna.
The Brambles employee action team.
Okay.
And a lot of like divisions of the company actually have them. I know sales actually just started their direct me to people in Palo teams, like scheduling surveys, so make it official as a mentor program or anything.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we have transportation all participate, and they action the survey. Action's actually on the team, so she can tell you more about what they're doing right now. But yeah, that's the purpose. The lunch and learns are great.
Yes.
Yeah, and so this culture is something I think pretty exceptional, right? Where you can reach out to a complete stranger and just say,
Absolutely.
"Hey, I'm curious about this. Can we set up a, just a quick
Yeah.
chat?"
Mm-hmm.
And you will have the most, lovely engagement, right? So I think just embracing the culture as we do have, and don't hesitate to reach out, because on the other side, more than likely you're going to find somebody who is really excited to get to know you and any questions that you have and help develop you, branch out that network. So that's one thing.
Mhm.
The other thing is any workshops, cross-functional projects are a gift,
Yep.
right? It unlocks so much more that you may not know that you can learn and navigate. So I think those couple of things I plug in there as well.
Absolutely, that's a great call out. And you're among 150 of your favorite people. So this is a great way to network as well. And as Agnes mentioned earlier, you're building that Rolodex. So awesome.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Any other questions? Yep. All right. Well, our hope for today is that you learned a little bit more about personal branding and how to build your personal brand. And we really do want you, as the reason why we got the folders and we've got the poppets in there, those are to put on the back of your phone. So if you need to do some videotaping for your social media, you can set your phone down and do your videotaping, and the worksheets. So, you know, so many times, at least I find myself, I don't take the time to really invest in myself, but really take a half hour, an hour, or to sit back and think about who you are, what you want to be, and how you want to promote your personal brand.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Everybody have a good afternoon.